this is kind of like a high level overview of how do you go from that ideation starting and go to production. We're not going to talk about all of that into production right now, we're just getting started. And so one of the first thing is the idea. It's important for you to be able to identify what is it that you're trying to get out of GenAI, what is the goal. And so, for example, in this case, these are some examples that you can start with. They are just to get your mind going and really asking the question, what is the alignment between what I'm trying to solve with business? Making sure that there is an ROI in there, there is a business case behind it, not only a technology side of things, but also a business side of things. So the ideation starts with being able to identify if you are able to do X, then you are able to do Y. And so these are some things that you can do. The classification, personalization, and expert systems. This is what we see most commonly that use cases fall into, but they are not the only ones. So once you have the idea, then start playing with it. Start playing with the model in GCP. You have the Berkeley AI GenAI Studio, where you can start playing with the model, start defining what your input is, and start putting some things to be able to say, okay, how do I control all of these? But the best thing to do is just start playing. And this is kind of like what it looks like, the prompt, the UI. Play with it. There is a UI. You can start taking data, manually taking data and playing with it. When you're doing that, you're going to be able to start identify certain prompts and certain things that you're do in order to get a specific output that you're looking for. And so start taking note of that, taking note of those prompts, taking note of what works, taking note of what data you are actually utilizing to be able to get the output that you're looking for. Now, once we have that and you have that information of the prompts, what's the next step? Well, POC. This is where the POC comes into play. Start defining, okay, my POC, what is it that I'm going to look at? What services I would like to start leveraging to start making this a little bit more automatic. And you can start from a very manual step and then little by little start automating, start bringing things that are going to be automation. Now, as you're doing all of these in the proof of concept, it's very important that you start getting metrics. How long the latency of the workload, how long it's taking for the LLM to produce an output, how long it's taking from a cloud function to pass something, whatever the services that you're using, how long it's taking for all of that, the success criteria, the quality, because this is going to be the part that is just going to start establishing a benchmark. Start getting not only you, but other people in your organization to start testing it, just to start playing with it so that you can, if something breaks, you know sooner what is happening. But the best thing that you can do is start playing through the UI and then start transferring from the UI to code, how to automate all of this. So very high level, very short. Start with idea, start playing with the prompt in Studio, and then start coding a POC.
And Mata, if I could jump in too from my standpoint, I think Google has provided a lot of great resources for how to get started. And a couple places that I would recommend, and this really depends on where you are at as far as like what's your level in a company. Like, if you're more of like a business leader, I would recommend starting in a place where you can go through more of a decision flow. And this is a tool called GenAI Navigator. You can get started here and click this button, and it takes you all the way through from beginning to end based on where you are in what industry you're in, and what are your goals for generative AI. You're looking for more strategy recommendations, infrastructure, or to upskill, and this will take you and provide you those recommendations as a business leader in your company. On the other hand, if you're more of a developer and you just want to get your hands dirty, Google has provided a resource called Jumpstart. This is a one-click deployment that you can deploy in your own in your project. It's open source. It's all of the infrastructure as code is in the repo. This will allow you to get your hands dirty in a matter of just minutes with understanding end to end what an architecture looks like. And there might be some other questions down the line where I can walk through this architecture and specific aspects of it in detail. But if you really want to just get your hands dirty and just see what services within Google, what they're doing, this would be the first place that I would recommend. And it's very easy to deploy it, and conversely also to undeploy it and tear it down when you're done.